Hello everyone, good morning and welcome back to the 2023 GBG Geneva Cup here at the Centre Sportif de l'Equipe as we prepare for day 2, semi-finals and the placing games. There should be some great action across the day. 8 teams graced the pitch yesterday. They were divided into 2 pools, Pool A and Pool B. The top 2 teams from each pool automatically progressed to today's semi-final. Top of Pool B was Modena. You're seeing them to your right. San Vito San Martin, hailing from Italy. Impressive throughout their games. Second in Pool A were the Red Fox Futfatelli, hailing of course from Belgium. We'll bring you a recap of the day 1 action, but go through the team lineup. Starting with Modena, they have number 10 Marco Ferraza, number 16 Mirko Tori, number 20 Martina Latina, number 22 Simone Ranzato, number 7 Gabriele Mindru, and number 8 Gabriele Zoggia. Their coaches Lorenzo Vandelli and Salvatore Latina. Let's go through the squad of Red Fox. They have number 10 Florian Lechantre, number 12 Gabriel Skutnik, number 15 Lucia Ferraro, number 16 Chloe Tilly, number 19 Elvis Bonkongu, and number 7 Luca Kapelsku. Their coaches Robin Cordron and Saeed Ainia. So, ready to start here today. Semi-final 1, the winner of this will progress to the GBG Geneva Cup final, scheduled for about 4 o'clock today. One thing to note, every player for this Modena side currently represents their national team of Italy. Marco Ferraza, club and country captain, one to watch throughout this game, as it's early pressure from the Red Lions, who had a mixed day yesterday, struggled to score in their opening 2 games, but put up a resolute defence, 0-0 in their opening 2. They took the lead against arguable tournament favourites, the European All-Stars, before a late equaliser meant they had to settle for a point. Marco Ferraza gifted a ball to Florian Lechantre there, who had an audacious effort at goal, just wide of the right-hand post, and great early work from the Belgians, who have to try and subdue this attack of Modena. Marco Ferraza, all the way down to Simone Ranzato, a fantastic player. Certainly the times that I've had the pleasure of watching him for his national team, you can obviously hear loud and clear how fantastic the support is in the grandstands behind us of the Italians. Ferraza, all the way down to Simone Ranzato. Bonkongu does well to intercept, to put it in the path of Luca Kapelsku. Simone Ranzato has Gabriel Mindru to his left. Ferraza well marked by Elvis Bonkongu on the right-hand side. He opts for the latter, just surpasses Bonkongu brilliantly well. And a fantastic save from Gabriel Skutnik to keep the game at 0-0. Simone Ranzato now with the resulting corner kick. He has Gabriel Mindru at the back post. Marco Ferraza as the most presentable option, just comes a little bit closer, the number 10 in the middle of your screens. Ranzato opts to go straight into the box. Cleared well by Skutnik once again. Was impressive yesterday, only conceded 1 goal. Across the day's action, it was just that potency in attack that they were missing. Ranzato. Faraz has to drop off. Down to Mindru on the right. Florian Lechantre trying to sweep up and turn the tide. 2-on-1 awarded in the favour of the Red Fox. Indirect free kick. Worth noting that the Red Fox, hailing of course from Belgium, are missing a key player. Iago Cordron is actually a member of the European All-Stars squad at the GBG Geneva Cup. So you can only imagine when they add that sort of quality to the attacking play of the Red Fox, there'd be a brilliant outfit. Trying to get their attack going now. Florian Lechantre has a kick in on the right-hand side, as you can see. Flicks it into the box, all the way to Capelscu at the back post. Now a chance for Mindru to break. Simone Ranzato in support on the opposite side wing. Faraza closely marked by Bonkongu. Just drops off there, and the captain of both teams battling away in the centre. 2 number 10s. Faraza patient with his play. These two faced one another last year when their nations met at the EPFA Cup 2022 here at the Centre Sportif de la Cueve, so probably a little familiar with each other's game, considering where they play their football on the courts. Set ball will be contested by Simone Ranzato and Lechantre. Anyone looking to tune in to today's opening placing game that is contested between Toulon and Zalok on court B, streamed live across the European Powerchair Football Association's YouTube. Here we'll have semi-final 1 and 2 on court A, streamed across the Goals Beyond Grass YouTube channel. Simone Ranzato geared on by the support in the grandstands, and almost an own goal there. Flicked off the back of Lechantre's chair, and Skutnik fortunate that it just went wide of that left-hand post via the obvious deflection. So a corner kick to resume play, taken by Simone Ranzato. Onto the edge of the box, a chance potentially for the Belgians to break. Bonkongu. Mindru takes possession of the ball. The Modena number 7. Bonkongu does brilliantly well to limit the advancement of Modena. Continues to pressure away. Oh, great work from Mindru. Faraza will do well to keep that in. Unfortunately, isn't able to do so. So Modena opened their GBG Geneva's Cup account against the EPFA youth team yesterday morning. That was an entertaining 2-2 draw before they really turned on the style, defeating Zalok by 2-0 and Phoenix Genevieve by 6-0. So comfortable at the top of Pool B. Red Fox, as I just mentioned earlier, had a difficult start to the day. 2 nil-nil draws against FC United and Toulon before one of the games of the day in a 1-1 draw with the European All-Stars. Lechantre just flicks it, falls to Faraza, who just nice flick to Mindru on the left-hand side. Capelscu on the right, couldn't guide it to one of his teammates. Lechantre tries to do just that. Capelscu does well to back off to allow his captain the space to advance down this right-hand wing. Met constantly by Faraza, and a sensible flick off the Italian's chair puts it out for a Red Fox ball. Very competitive matchup so far. Can the Red Fox open the scoring? They can't on that occasion, unfortunately. Go straight out for a goal kick. Faraza to take. Interesting to see Martina Latina coming out of her box. Obviously utilising the distribution of Faraza. Red Fox did well to condense the defence of Medina there. 2-on-1, the decision from the referee. And an indirect free kick gives the Red Fox from Belgium a good opportunity. Bonkongu in between the chairs of Latina and Faraza. Flicked back by Lechantre, but not in the direction of his teammate Elvis Bonkongu. Out of play for a goal kick. Once again, utilising Faraza for the goal kicks. Simone Ranzato, the most obvious option, dead central. Finds the space for a rotated spin kick from Lechantre. Falls to Kapelskuk eventually, then gets locked up between himself and Ranzato. Bullies his way down the right-hand wing. Flicked back, Faraza has to drop off. Hard to call in the opening 10 or so minutes. Mindru. Faraza an option on the edge. Bonkongu desperately trying to limit that. Ranzato has to come across to stop Bonkongu from entering the Medina half. Fantastic support. Flicked into the box, just off the back of Lechantre chair, then off the front of Bonkongu. Mindru lets that go. Chance for Medina to regroup at this kick-in. Ranzato in the centre, on the right-hand side of your screen. Mindru between Lechantre and Bonkongu. Bonkongu is quick as an arrow to guide that out of play. Marco Faraza. He touched the ball there, so has to, 2 touches of the ball. Interesting to see what the referee will allow. He's going to allow him to retake it, fortunately, for the Italian captain. Across the box, Ranzato at the back post, fires it in! Brilliant goal, fantastic accuracy. Sees Medina take a 1-0 goal advantage. Clinical from the Italians. Whether it was the ball from Faraza or the finish from Ranzato, either way, they're in the driving seat for this game. Medina 1, Red Fox 0. Quick attack from the Italians, looking to double their lead very quickly. Fortunately, from the Red Fox, Fatali goes just out for a goal kick. Skutnik down to Faraza, over the top of Bonkongu's chair, so set ball will resume play. Didn't have the pleasure of watching Medina in any of their games yesterday. All of their fixtures were contested on Court B, and I was firmly placed on this court, Court A, across the day. Always a big fan of watching and commentating on the Italians. And they currently have 1 foot in the final. Still a lot of football left to be played, and I'm sure Florian Lechantre will want to guide his team to an equaliser as soon as possible. Faraza put away on that right-hand wing, but the direction of the pass from Branzato limited by Lechantre. Options on the bench for both sides, should they wish to use them. Gabriele Zoggia, another Italian international, number 8 for Modena. Mirko Tori, number 16. Waiting in the wings for the Red Fox, they have Lucia Ferraro and Chloe Tilley, should Robin Cordron wish to use them across this game. Faraza, Lechantre, good pass down to Kapelsku on the right-hand side. Two on one, Kapelsku and Lechantre, not allowing that 3-metre distance needed for Faraza to operate. Overcrowded, indirect free kick, taken quickly to Ranzato. Fantastic diagonal switch to Mindru. Wasn't quite prepared to capitalise on that fantastic ball from Ranzato. Skutnik now out of his box. And Lechantre obviously coming out of his box there to support the defence of Gabriel Skutnik. So good opportunity just before 15 minutes for Modena to double their lead. Taken this time by Ranzato, Mindru to his left, Faraza to his right, goes for the former, back to Ranzato, fires an effort at goal, cleared off the line by Gabriel Skutnik. 2 on 1, fortunately in the favour of the Belgians. A great opening half of football here at day 2 of the GBG Geneva Cup 2023. Ranzato in the half-time break. We'll go through all of yesterday's actions and I'll just explain the format and some highlights of this competition. Ranzato into Skutnik. Florian Lechantre just allowed Faraza there to just come onto the ball. Probably avoidable had the Belgian number 10 just reacted a little bit quicker. Faraza flicked back in the direction of Mindru, eventually gets possession, couldn't get the angle on his chair, and a real credible chance for the Belgians now if Kapelsku could have picked out Bonkongu on the left. A number of Italian players crowding Kapelsku. Taken quickly by Lechantre. Little flick off the front of Bonkongu's chair. Out of play for a goal kick. Next up, semi-final 2, scheduled for an 11:30 kick-off time. For anyone tuning in England, that will be 10:30. We're working and operating on Central European Summer Time, so we are an hour ahead. I know we have a number of varied nations representing the European All-Stars and the EPFA youth team. Can't wait for that one. Faraza immediately intercepted by Lechantre, and a misfortunate deflection off the side of Martina Latina's chair sends it goal-bound, but Faraza alert to that danger. Bonkongu now with possession on the edge of the Italians' box. Faraza just evading the pressure, but not enough to keep it in play. Final 2.5 minutes. Modena 1, Red Fox 0. That single goal from Simone Ranzato, proving the difference as we approach the half-time interval. Bonkongu into the box, cleared by Faraza, not necessarily the contact he would have wanted. Back to Bonkongu, Le Chantre sensibly there, just feinted to go one way and went to advance to the left, but not before our referee could award a 2-on-1. Le Chantre to Kapelsku. An attempt at goal, blocked by Faraza. A second attempt, this time in the direction of Luka Kapelsku. Faraza now. They've got an overload. 3 players in attack to the 2 Belgian players in defence. Faraza dribbling all the way into the Red Fox box. Mindru probably going to be comfortable enough to let that go out of play, but has confidence in his ability. Keeps it in play, tries to just surpass the pressure of Elvis Bonkongu, but the number 19 proving a real nuisance for the Italians so far in this half. 2-on-1, this time in the favour of Modena. Simone Ranzato to take. It's nice to see the variation, different plays, and what a ball and control respectively. Not enough angle from Faraza, but they've utilised a number of their players to take the kind of the set balls. And Ranzato there set away his captain brilliantly. Final 30 seconds of the regulation 20. Faraza. Le Chantre intercepts. The ball not placed to the front of his chair, so that flick to Bonkongu not presented. Faraza, 2 trapped in that corner, allowed by the referee due to their attacking passage of play. I like to see that. Faraza wasn't interfering, but just trapped. Quickly gave Mindru the space. And that's great to see from our referee. Half time. Modena 1, Red Fox 0. And what a great half to open the day with. Confirmation of that on your screens now. And as I was saying, it's a fantastic competition. Here in Geneva, it's bringing together teams from various European nations and offering them a unique experience to play and compete in a tournament on a European platform. And this is something for a lot of these players, it will be a first. For those that don't know, that are just tuning in, this year in the GBG Geneva Cup, we've witnessed 8 teams from across Europe. That list includes FC United of Scotland, France's Les Blacks, Lions Toulon, or Toulon for short. Spain, they have Zaloc Alicante. Italy's ASD San Vito San Martin, they're just Modena for short, who you're watching in this first semi-final. They're contesting against the Red Fox Footfatelli of Belgium. And we've got our host, Les Phoenix Genevieve, hailing, of course, from Switzerland. Furthermore, the inclusion of 2 diverse European teams in this year's GBG Geneva Cup has added that additional layer of intrigue and excitement. We have the European All-Stars, an exciting assembly of footballers based across the continent, in addition to the EPFA youth team, a collection of some of the most promising talents from across Europe. And both of these teams who will contest semi-final number 2 will bring a mix of experience and youth. So please tune into that one if you can. But the GBG Geneva Cup is more than just a tournament. It's a gathering of players and teams to showcase skill, strategy, and for the viewing audience, a fantastic opportunity to see the variation of playing styles and techniques from across Europe, Belgium and Italy, two very different nations in terms of how they approach the game and play the game, but fascinating to see how it matches up against one another. Of the 8 teams, they were divided into 2 pools yesterday, as mentioned throughout commentary of this first half, where the top 2 automatically progressed to the semi-final stage, and it was Red Fox finishing second in Pool A, Modena finishing first in Pool B. Hence their gathering here this morning. One thing to certainly take into consideration and note across the day is this tournament is certainly not without its challenges. Managing the impact of the extreme temperatures we have, I think it's set to get to 36 or so degrees in Geneva today, and it's not too dissimilar inside the Centre Sportif de l'Equative. And these factors play a considerable role on the players and the chairs respectively. Whilst we are waiting for the teams to conclude their team talks, let's just go through them team lineups once again, starting with ASD San Vito San Martin, Medina for short. Number 10, Marco Ferrazza, the captain, the assist provider for the only goal of this game thus far. Number 16, Mirko Tori, yet to feature in semi-final number 1. Number 20, Martina Latina, fairly untested, operating as the designated goalkeeper for Medina. Number 22, the goal scorer, Simone Ranzato. A fantastic goal, one of the goals of the tournament, scored by the number 22, who's just as prolific and lethal for his national team. Number 7, Gabriele Mindru. And number 8, Gabriele Zoggia. Their coaches, Lorenzo Vandelli and Salvatore Latina. For the Red Fox, they have number 10, Florian Lechantre. Number 12, Gabrielle Skutnik. Number 15, Lucia Ferraro, who looks like she's just been introduced to the action. We'll get confirmation of that as the second half kicks off. Number 16, Chloe Tilley. Number 19, Elvis Bonkongu. And number 7, Luka Kapelsku. So our referee places the ball in the centre circle, gets the thumbs up from his officials on either sides, as well as the keepers in Skutnik and Latina, and the second half kicks off. Immediate pressure from the Red Fox of Belgium, allowed to go out of play by Martina Latina. So confirmation of that change. Lucia Ferraro on, Luka Kapelsku off. As the Italian support in the grandstands. What a fantastic pass from the back of Simone Granzato's chair, who I believe, certainly the first time I've watched him, is now operating and playing his football in a strike force. So no question that that will aid his development and his game substantially. We'll see a number of varied chairs from across this tournament. Ferraro with a positive first involvement in this game. Ranzato closes down. Ranzato. Across the box, off the front of Bonkongu's chair, failing that crucial interception. Mindru was in a lot of space on the left-hand wing. Faraza locked in a tight battle with Elvis Bonkongu trying to come away with the ball for the Belgian side. Faraza met by Lechantre. Elvis Bonkongu so focused on the ball there, slightly unaware to the placement of his captain, Florian Lechantre. Ranzato takes it quickly over to Mindru. Great pass from Mindru to Faraza, who just couldn't get the connection with the front right of his chair. Otherwise, surely would have surpassed Gabriel Skutnik in the Red Fox goal. The attack still present for Medina. Faraza closed down once again, 2-on-1 as a result of Bonkongu and Lechantre's placement on the pitch. Really great game this. Real pleasure to watch and commentate on football at this level. Really unique competition this, seeing varied clubs from across the continent come together to compete with one another. Cleared well by Skutnik. Elvis Bonkongu not quick enough to rotate his chair, just locks up and stays within the Red Fox defensive half. Ferraro slightly unaware, but does well to adjust, just backing off and not advancing any further onto that ball. She let it come to her, otherwise surely a 2-on-1 with Elvis Bonkongu. But a lot of these teams are early within their respective developments and journeys in the power chair football world. So the EPFA Champions Cup, the Champions League equivalent for power chair football in the continent, is potentially a few years away. So an opportunity to play club football at a European level, the benefits that have cannot be understated. Really has the potential to shape their journeys and their careers. Faraza. Lechantre desperately trying to get something going for the Red Fox. Has a chance to do so with this indirect free kick as a result of Simone Ranzato's placement. Lechantre down to Ferraro. Out of play for a goal kick. Martina Latina just comes out of the Medina box to allow Faraza the space. Very locked up, the Italian side. No real opportunities that would set them away immediately. I'd like to see Martina Latina a little more advanced, but I understand she is the designated goalkeeper who operates her football predominantly in the box. Florian Lechantre reversing into Simone Ranzato. Both players appealing for that contact foul. It was Lechantre reversing into Ranzato, more so than the other way round. So interestingly, it looks as if Lechantre comes away with the decision. Apologies. No, as suspected. Simone Ranzato will take the free kick. Faraza locked in the top right-hand corner. Mindru gets the ball. It goes direct to goal. Would have counted. Contact foul. Allowed to shoot direct. Cleared well by Skutnik, who has been fantastic throughout the tournament, it must be noted. He's only seen 2 goals go past him in the Red Fox goal. Got a real nice partnership with Florian Lechantre. It's just that potency in attack that they're lacking. But as has been mentioned, the addition of Iago Cordron that they have at club level will completely revolutionise this team. Martina Latina has to be aware of that chance from Lucia Ferraro. Out for a corner kick. Next up, semi-final 2. One of the most highly anticipated, intriguing fixtures of the whole tournament will be contested by the European All-Stars and the EPFA youth team. Lechantre into the box. Lucia Ferraro can't quite get the connection with the front left-hand side of her chair. Unfortunately for her, goes out for a goal kick. 27.5 or so minutes played. Modena still lead by 1-0. Wouldn't surprise me if you see this, the Red Fox really go for it in the final 5 to 10 minutes. They have nothing to lose. So whether or not we'll see Skutnik come out of his goal area, add that additional player to their attacking game, we will soon see. Lechantre, Ferraza now trying to dribble over the goal line. A fantastic defence of Skutnik, so calm and collected in his defensive duties. Looking at his facial expressions, little phases him. That's so crucial. It's such an important foundation for the Red Fox to build on. Ball trapped between the chairs of Ferraza and Skutnik without rolling, so a set ball will resume play. Robin Cordron just coming over to talk to his captain. I hope everything is okay, whether he's got a problem with his chair or not. Just needs a bit of adjustment before play continues. So we're going to get that set ball as a result of that trapped ball. Our referee just adjusting the chairs of Mindru and Lechantre before he blows his whistle for play to continue. Mindru yet to have much involvement in this second half. The Red Fox defensively have been far better. Not that they was below par in any way in the first half. Just that fantastic kind of set-piece routine from Medina. See them have that current 1-goal advantage. Ferraza flicked towards the left-hand post. No pace, and Lechantre can easily sweep that up as the two number 10s battle away. Bonkongu has to be aware of his placement all the while that Lechantre remains within the designation box of the Red Fox. 2-on-1 will not be the decision. That certainly wasn't a 2-on-1 in favour of Red Fox. Thankfully, it was just a case of the referee signalling the wrong direction. Not quite sure. It certainly wasn't 2-on-1. Florian Lechantre didn't leave his box, but unfortunately for them, fortunately for Medina, sorry, they have really good opportunity at this indirect free kick. Simone Ranzato to take. Mindru to the left, Faraza to the right. But keep an eye on Faraza, the number 10 on the right-hand side of your screen. Fired straight into the two defensive players of Red Fox. Mindru attempts an effort, 180 spin kick. Not enough pace to trouble the defenders. Granzato. Lucia Ferraro does well to intercept. Now to try mountain attack for Red Fox. Ferraza showing his experience there to just patiently dispossess the Red Fox number 15. A lot of pace on that ball. I doubt either of these two number 10s will have enough to keep it in play. A small touch from Ferraza, sees it go out for a Red Fox ball. 33 minutes played. Medina 1, Red Fox 0. Skutnik into the side of Lechantre's chair. Mindru pressuring away. Just weaves to the left, then to the right. Unfortunately can't keep a hold of the ball. And he gives possession back to the Belgian side. Ferraza just managing the game now. 6.5 or so minutes of normal time remaining. And knowing that they have that 1-goal advantage, are happy to just not take too many risks. Whilst a second goal would aid their progression far more seamlessly than this current scoreline. Taking risks could leave you vulnerable at the back. And Martina Latina has had very few touches in this half or game in whole, to be perfectly honest. So they'll certainly want to keep it that way. Ranzato trying to figure out a way past this defensive duo. Looks like Simone Ranzato needs an adjustment. He's going to get that. Not sure what has been awarded. It was locked up on that right-hand post prior to it leaving the field of play. So it looks like it'll be a goal kick, as now signalled by the referee. Gabriel Skutnik, Chantre just to his left, tried to just let that ball bypass him into the vicinity of Elvis Bonkongo, but falls straight to Mindru, who attempts an effort, just blocked by the back of Skutnik's chair. Now Lechantre trying to relieve pressure on his defence. Did well to just put up a defensive wall. Gabriel Mindru can't keep it in play. Really like to see the Red Fox be brave now. With less than 5 minutes remaining, they won't want to settle for a third or fourth place playoff. They'll want one of those two spots in the semi-final. Sorry, the final, scheduled for around 4 o'clock Central European summertime. Lechantre down to Lucia Ferraro. Just missed the connection with the front of her chair. Mindru leaves to Ranzato, and a fortunate Fortunately for Gabriel Mindru, Elvis Bonkongu just a second or two behind. A nice connection with that ball. The play continues with a kick in. Robin Cordron a signal to the bench. Yeah, Luka Kapelsku to come back on. As suspected, it'll be probably Lucia Ferraro to come off. So they're going to finish the game as they started it, as they desperately seek an equaliser. Ranzato dribbling into the box of the Red Fox. Skutnik. Ranzato patiently playing the ball. Should this end in a draw and the Red Fox find that equaliser, extra time, 2 10-minute periods. Should it not be separated at the end of that, penalties will be the decider. Fortunately for Medina, as it stands, they are going to progress to the GBG Geneva Cup final. Two minutes to go. Kapelsku still waiting in the wings. They're going to get that change now. And as suspected, Lucia Ferraro coming off. Luka Kapelsku coming on. Confirmation on your screens. Coming now. Lechantre. Skutnik now out of his box. Faraza and Bonkongu switching from one side of the court to the other. Great work from the number 19. Potentially a penalty there. Contact from Faraza in the box. Just trying to work out. It must have been right on the edge, as the referee has signalled for a free kick as opposed to a penalty kick. At the angle that we're commentating, not necessarily clear what lines designate the goalkeeper area, but direct free kick with 30 seconds remaining presents the Red Fox with their most credible opportunity to equalise all game. For Lechantre to take to Elvis Bonkongu, who finds the equaliser! Persistent, resilient, fantastic. Absolutely brilliant from the Red Fox of Belgium, who, as we approach the end of the regulation 20, find that equaliser. Elvis Bonkongu, the scorer, and what a game this has been. I referenced it a few minutes ago. 2 10-minute intervals will contest extra time, followed by penalties if it's still a draw after that. Brilliant work from the Red Fox. Did not waver, did not give up, were very persistent, have had very limited attacking opportunities, but the one that they had, certainly the most credible, they managed to convert.
And then go back to that. So when we kick off.
So after the 40-minute mark, the score ends 1-1. We're going to get extra time, 2 10-minute periods. This just epitomises the quality of competition we have here at the Centre Sportif de la Havre in Geneva, Switzerland. Bitterly unlucky for Medina, who led for 80% of that game. But that one momentary lapse in concentration and that contact foul, I believe it was Simone Ranzato, gifted the Red Fox a set piece, which Elvis Bonkongu converted brilliantly. Just get the squads so you can see Marco Ferraza playing a key role in that Medina side. Mirko Tori yet to feature, as is Gabriele Zoggia. Martina Latina untested throughout that game, could do little to prevent that accurate shot from Bonkongu. Ranzato and Mindru make up the Italian side. Red Fox, Florian Lechantre did not give up, constantly working. Feel for his chair, because he is everywhere, working constantly to prevent the advancements of the opposition. Also turn provider for that attack. Number 12, Gabriel Skotnik. Number 15, Lucia Ferraro, just left the field of play. 16, Chloe Tilley, yet to feature. 19, Elvis Bonkongu, who I really like as a player. Take away that fantastic clinical finish. Just his general gameplay is really encouraging. And with the addition of Iago Cordron at club level, you can see that they're a really exciting outfit. Solid at the back, and with that additional player in attack, no doubt they would have seamlessly progressed through this tournament with that crucial addition. Having to adapt without him for this competition alone, no doubt he'll be back adding the goals and the creativity when the Red Fox leave. Both teams just getting their instructions from their respective coaches before extra time resumes our action. So teams are just brought in before play is set to resume. Thumbs up from our referee. It's going to come up as 0-0.
No one. One. Did you reset scores?
So, play continues. Apologies for any technical difficulties. Ranzato. Intercepted well by Elvis Bonkongu. They have that lifted momentum now, our Belgian contingent. And no doubt the next goal of the game will heavily dictate the outcome with only 20 minutes left to play in 2 10-minute intervals. Ranzato now to take the goal kick. A new approach sets away Marco Ferrazzo, who can't make connection on the rotated spin kick. Slightly changing their approach and their setup. Modena, as they look to regain that 1-goal advantage. Ranzato rotated spin kick off the right-hand post. Fantastic opportunity, almost on the halfway line from Simone Ranzato. The warning signs are there for Red Fox. They have been for most of the game. They haven't underestimated their Italian opponents. And it's that sort of quality which saw Ranzato score the opening goal earlier this game. A real let-off for the Red Fox, who are going to try and attack themselves now. Bonkongu with Ranzato. Good battle between these two players. Ranzato appealing to the official on the left-hand side. A kick in for the Red Fox. Will resume play. Lechantre down to Mindru. Skutnik coming out of the box to limit the advancements. Luka Kapelski just reversing into the side of Marco Ferrazzo's chair. Has to be aware of his position and, more importantly, the position of other players around him. Just get that explanation from our referee. Ranzato down the court. Lechantre. Kapelski and Bonkongu too close to one another. 2-on-1. Ranzato to Ferrazzo on the right hand side, quickly pressured by Bonkongu. Chance for Ferrazzo now if he was able to flick it. No real options on the edge of the box. Gabriel Mindru blocked on the left hand side. Lechantre just calling for Elvis Bonkongu to vacate the space, which he does so brilliantly well. Mindru now with possession of the ball. Tries to weave to the right hand side, flooring Lechantre's left, but the Belgian number 10 adjusts accordingly. Unfortunately, Bonkongu just drawn towards the ball, trying to limit the opportunities and space of the Italians, and a 2-on-1 is the result from the referee. Indirect free kick, Simone Ranzato to take. Mindru to the left, who he opts to choose, just flicks it with the front of his chair. Skutnik alert to that chance. Ranzato just flicked off the back of his chair, and a bit of respite for the defence of the Red Fox. 4.5 or so minutes played of this 10-minute half. Le Chantre back to Bunkongu, flicks with the front of his chair into the path of Luka Kapelsku. Now with Simone Ranzato, who weaves all the way round. A nice arc. Le Chantre too close, surely, to Kapelsku there. But play allowed to resume. Le Chantre. Flicked by Ranzato to the right-hand side. Skotnik is going to let that go, probably sensibly. Had he tried a pass or more audaciously the 180 spin kick, Mindru was presenting a real problem in his positioning. You have to credit the positioning of the number 7, so he lets it just roll out of play for a Red Fox ball. Kapelsku let that go initially. Faraza gives kicking responsibility to Ranzato. Mindru between the chairs of Le Chantre and Bunkongu. 3 in the box from Belgium. Bunkongu over the designated line for all of those tuning in. I think you can just about see some hazard tape, some yellow and black tape designating the corners of the box. So one to take into consideration. The players are no part of a player's chair should there be 2 players already in the box be allowed. So an indirect free kick will be taken place shortly. Ranzato to take. Mindru now. Ranzato lets it run across his chair, tries to connect, but the ball was locked up to the front of Ranzato's chair. Faraza now is going to attempt an effort on go, does so. Le Chantre clears. Now Bunkongu with an opportunity to counter for the Red Fox. Ranzato just sweeps it out of the number 19's path. 2.5 minutes remaining of this first interval of extra time. Bunkongu does brilliantly well. Now on the right-hand wing, flicked it into the box. Kapelsku uses the front of his chair. Martina Latina with her first involvement in this half of extra time. And flicked well by Bunkongu off an Italian chair for a corner kick. The Italians have certainly been more proactive in their attacking approach, and Florian Le Chantre will probably get the credit for the job that he's doing for the Red Fox, but one of my players of the match so far has been Elvis Bunkongu. But an opportunity here for Medina, spearheaded by Ranzato, who just tries to flick it between the chairs of Le Chantre and Skotnik. Is still trapped, but there's no way Ranzato, as it currently lays, is going to find a way past Le Chantre and Skotnik. He'd have to adjust to try and find the space between the defensive duo. He's transitioned from the right-hand side now to the left. The defensive duo of the Red Fox still presenting that very same problem for the number 22 of Medina. Contact in the box. Le Chantre has to be very careful. He's trying to weave it in that right-hand post. Doesn't do so on that occasion. Mindru and Faraza need to be aware of their placement should the ball flick into their vicinity. They're very close to one another. They've just dropped off to allow that 3-metre distance now. But Ranzato has options waiting if he isn't able to capitalise on this chance himself. Good work from Le Chantre and Skotnik. constant communication with one another to ensure that they don't give Ranzato any real opportunity. Contact again into the side of Ranzato's chair, allowed by the referee. Kapelskal needs to be very much aware of his placement, but it's not before the half-time interval is signalled by our referee. Modena 1, Red Fox 1. And this game is proving to be one of the standouts of the whole tournament. I really can't call it. You've got the attack of Modena, Ranzato, Faraza and Mindru, and then you have the defence of the Red Fox in Lechantre and Skutnik. Passionate team talks to our left and our right. Next up, probably going to be a delayed start to semi-final 2. The European All-Stars, comprised of players across the continent, take on a very similar structured side, a team made up of some of the brightest youngsters from across Europe. For all of those tuning in for the first time, we're here in Geneva, Switzerland at the Center.Sportif de la Havre, just a mile or so away from the beautiful Lake Geneva. And we're aptly named here for the GBG Geneva Cup 2023. A fantastic competition that brings together teams from various European nations, offering them a chance to experience a competitive tournament on a continental platform, something that's a first for many here this weekend. We've got teams from across Europe. That list includes representation from Scotland in FC United, Toulon from France, Zalok from Spain, Modena from Italy, Red Fox from Belgium, Phoenix Genevieve, of course, from Switzerland, with the addition of them two mixed European sides. A real celebration of power chair football as the buzz around the sport continues to grow. Less than 2 months away from the highly anticipated 2023 FitFut Power Chair Football World Cup. That one will be held in Sydney, Australia. And all of these competitions that support it and surround it make the sport what it is. No doubt, aspirations and dreams for many of the players here this weekend. Just in front of me, I've got the Modena side, and I've had the opportunity to watch several of their players represent Italy. And considering their relative infancy on the international stage, they have gone from strength to strength. So it is without question that within the next few years they will be competing for a spot in the World Cup, if not representing their country as a confirmed competitor. So soon to be getting underway. Another 10-minute interval will be contested by Modena and Red Fox, and should it remain 1-1 or a draw at that point, we will get penalties to determine our GBG Geneva Cup 2023 finalist. Medina yet to make any changes, so finely balanced. It can work for and against them should they wish to utilise Gabriele Zoggia or Mirko Tori. Chloe Tilley also yet to feature for the Red Fox of Belgium following that earlier cameo appearance from Lucia Ferraro. Mindru now operating it in that central role. Faraza on the left hand side. Lechantre. Just rolling. Down to Bonkongu. Has an attempt at goal, blocked well by Ranzato. Bonkongu. Great pass over to Kapelsku. Can't quite generate the accuracy and or power on that shot to trouble Martina Latina in the Medina goal. Mindru now has the responsibility to try and reverse the momentum. Lechantre puts it in the path of Kapelsku. 2-on-1 in favour of our Belgian side. You won't be able to see it on your screen currently, but there's a number of flags adorned on the far wall representing the varied competitors and the nationalities of our players at the GBG Geneva Cup 2023. Got Italy, Scotland, France, Northern Ireland, Switzerland, Denmark, England, Ireland, Spain and Belgium. An eclectic and fascinating mix of players and playing styles really come to the forefront to provide some great watching and opportunities alike. Bonkongu, Ranzato. Ranzato with the kick in on the far side. Through in the direction of the captain, Marco Ferraza, locked up by number 19, Elvis Bonkongu, one of the standouts of this semi-final. Very cautious approach from both players and soft contact foul there. Contact nonetheless. It's awarded in the favour of Belgium. Lechantre picked off by Bonkongu. Kapelsku too close to the action there. Fortunate not to have a 2-on-1 awarded against them. But they are eventually, with Medina able to capitalise or regain possession immediately. Be taken by Simone Ranzato. Down to Ferraza, cleared by Lechantre. Possession taken by Bonkongu. Needs to drop off slightly with Kapelsku rooted to his spot about 4 metres away. Bonkongu just off the back of Mindru's chair. Will it take a moment of magic? The 2 goals that we've seen have been certainly that. Unfortunate from Kapelsku, couldn't make contact with an audacious spinning kick, but Fortunately for him, Le Chantre has possession, just dispossessed by Ranzato. Faraza in space on the left-hand wing, trying to just get past Florian Le Chantre. The referee deemed that a 2-on-1. He didn't feel like Gabriel Skutnik was more than 3 meters away, as they both reversed into the defensive box of the Red Fox. Ranzato to take the resulting indirect free kick to Faraza on the right, flicked in the direction of the goal, cleared by Le Chantre. Now Bonkongu driving up the court, flicked by Ranzato. Now Le Chantre, non-stop. Not a moment for any of these players to switch off. That momentary lapse in concentration would surely prove the difference and would allow the team a real attacking opportunity. They've only had 1 or 2 shots on target this whole game, the Red Fox, but made it count when they had that opportunity. Good pick-off from Kapelsko. Unfortunately, Skutnik just dropped off, and now Faraza's patiently letting that reverse into his path. He has Mindru in the edge of the half. It's going to fall to Kapelsko, forces a shot too square for Elvis Bonkongu. It goes out for a Modena ball. I think our timer is delayed slightly, so sorry, a bit behind the actual time. So we're at around 27 or so minutes. Not long. We're playing for the viewing audience. We're playing to 30. So not long left for either of these teams to find the winner. Penalty kicks looking the most likely outcome at the moment. Simone Ranzato with the ball. Down to Marco Faraza. Just locked up to Le Chantre. End-to-end stuff. Le Chantre. Over to Bonkongu. Looks like Modena are going to make their first change, whether that is with consideration to the impending penalty shootout that is going to separate these sides currently. Be interesting to see who comes off for the Italian side. Just straight out of play for a goal kick. No change. They're going to adjust. I think they are now playing to penalties and feel that their 4 players currently operating on the court give them their best chance to progress to the GBG Geneva Cup final. Mindru trying to prove a real nuisance. Does so brilliantly there, but Kapelsko alert to that chance. We're going to get the change. We're just trying to figure out the approach of the Italians. They've 180'd their decision. Now Gabriele Zoggia does ready himself to come on. So Martina Latina, they need a designated goalkeeper. They're going to put Gabriel Mindru in a varied colour bib. So they'll have Zoggia, Ranzato, Mindru and Faraza as designated penalty kick takers. Should there not be a goal scored in the final few seconds. As I mentioned, our clock is slightly behind, so there's only a few moments remaining. Surely the last opportunity. Ranzato. Elvis Bonkongu, I don't think given the necessary 5-metre distance needed for that set piece to take place. Just gets a ticking off from the referee. And Ranzato will retake that kick in on the far side into the front of Faraz's chair. Flicked to the left. Zoggia unaware. Bonkongu. Kapelsku needs to be very much considerate of his positional play. And it will be penalty kicks that separate these two teams. After an hour of football. Penalties will be the decider. Just trying to work out what end the penalties will take place. Really is a fantastic advert for the sport. This game in particular. You'll get a chance to witness penalties. Don't think there's been too many across the GBG Geneva Cup 2023. I think I've seen one, certainly on Court A. For all of those unaware, penalty kick. The goalkeeper or designated goalkeeper is allowed to move both forwards and backwards with the side of their chair. A recent or relatively recent adaptation to the interpretation of penalty kicks, making it far more challenging for the penalty taker to convert, and considering the way the officials are adapting their setup, it looks like penalties will be taken on the right hand side, where there's the most concentrated spectators in our bleacher seating at the back. Just to the left a little bit. So teams are just readying themselves, getting their final instructions. Be interesting to see who takes responsibility for their penalty kicks, or certainly which order in which they wish to utilise their players. Thank you once again to any and everyone tuning in to our stream. Soon to be kicking off on Court B. They're scheduled for an 11:30 kickoff, so in a couple minutes' time, that's Central European summertime, the time zone. We have another placing game contested between Phoenix Genevieve and FC United of Scotland. I'll be back shortly to bring you the action of the penalty shootout. So the referee blows the whistle to get things underway. They're going to have the flip of a coin to determine who is taking and who is defending first. So it looks like Marco Ferraza and Medina have potentially won the coin flip. Whether he opts to be the first taker or not, we will soon see. So looks like Marco Ferraza will be the first to take a penalty kick. Florian Lechantre, the designated goalkeeper for Red Fox. Great support from the bleachers seating behind us. You can't see it on your screen, but all of our players are gathering on the halfway line as the referee drags the ball to the penalty spot. Ferraza to take. The Chantra between the goalposts. You can see that action I was talking about, weaving left and right. And Ferraza puts it through the goal. 1-0. So Luka Kapelsku to take the first penalty for the Red Fox of Belgium. Fairly isolated, untested, uninvolved in that game. Can he put his team on par with Medina? Weaves left and right, as does the goalkeeper, Gabriel Mindru. Flicks it wide of the right-hand post. Good work from Mindru, constantly trying to put off the taker. And Medina take the lead. Next up for Medina, the ever impressive Simone Ranzato. Once again contested by Florian Lechantre. Saved by Florian Lechantre. Brilliant work from the Belgian number 10 to prevent Simone Ranzato. And should the Red Fox manage to score here, we will be level. Gabriel Skutnik to take. Mindru between the sticks. Just looks like he's shaping up to use it with the side of his chair. Mindru reverses. Skutnik puts it over the line. And we are dead even after 4 penalties. Next up, keeper on keeper. Gabriel Mindru to take. Florian Lechantre, can he make it 2 sets in a row? Really imposing figure for the Red Fox. Backwards and forwards he drives. Gabriel Mindru, the number 7 of Medina, shapes up to take, and 2 saves in as many penalties. Brilliant work from Florian Lechantre and the Red Fox of Belgium. Mindru, fairly deflated, now has the responsibility to try and prevent Elvis Bonkongu from scoring and putting 1 foot in the final for Red Fox. The scorer of the single goal in open play. Can Bonkongu add to his tally in the shootout? Looks like he's going to use the right-hand side of his chair to try and surpass Gabriel Mindru. No, it's weaving left and right, rotating, trying to confuse the Medina number 7. Continually just waiting for the officials who are deliberating something at the moment prior to Elvis Bonkongu taking this spot kick. The whistle blown, Bonkongu readies himself, Mindru likewise in between the goalposts. Left, right, Mindru looks good, looks confident, presenting a real preventative measure of this penalty being scored. Bonkongu delays, but slots it in the right-hand side, likewise to his goal earlier today. Squeezed inside the post. And Red Fox are almost there. Gabriel Zogia to try and score this. (2-1) to Red Fox. Can Zogia make it 2 apiece? Florian Lechantre looking to make it 3 consecutive saves. And he does exactly that. Congratulations to the Red Fox. They will be GBG Geneva Cup 2023 finalists, and they will face one of the European All-Stars or the EPFA youth team later on today. Full credit to them. They scored an equaliser in the dying seconds of the regulation 40 minutes. Normal time, they were resilient throughout additional time and proved more decisive, more accurate in the penalty shootout. Huge commiserations for Medina, who will be bitterly disappointed. They probably felt that they were the better of the two teams across the game, but it's about the opportunities you take, the goals you score, and how cool, calm, collected you are under pressure. Full credit to Florian Lechantre, who was superb across the game, saving 3 consecutive penalties. And once again, I want to give credit to all of their teams, but particularly to Elvis Monkongu. Scored the equaliser on the 39-minute mark, and his penalty, probably the pick of the bunch. So Red Fox progress. Medina will have to settle for a third, fourth place playoff. Thank you to all that have joined us. Next up, on Court A, semi-final 2, European All-Stars versus Epford Youth Team. Hope you can join me for that one shortly. quickly. Hello everyone, welcome back to the 2023 GBG Geneva Cup here at the Centre Sportif de l'Equateur, the sunny city of Geneva, where we will soon witness semi-final 2 contested between the European All-Stars and the ETFA youth team. To go through the teams of the European All-Stars who finished top of Pool A yesterday. Have number 10, Iago Cordron, number 19, Bobby Allen, number 29, Elliot Dole, number 40, John Dixon, and arguably the player of the tournament so far, number 7, Julien Zhu, their coaches, Brian Dix and Stuart Allen. The team of the ETFA youth team, led and coached by an experienced, exciting pair in Aoife McNichol and Brad Bates. They have number 10, Sam Gowan, number 11, Fionn Olunga, number 15, Aaron Turalbo Sanchez, number 2, Tristan Faravola, another standout from yesterday's games, number 7, Ruben Walls, and number 8, Kyle Baker. Semi-final 1, which was contested earlier today between Modena and Red Fox, went to both extra time and penalties, which saw Florian Lechantre lead his Belgian-based team to a spot in the GBG Geneva Cup final. For the first time this weekend, I'm delighted to have a co-commentator supporting my every word. Greg Baxter, how are you, sir?
Good morning, Ryan. Delighted to be on co-comms with you.
As has been the reoccurring theme across the weekend, a few technical difficulties. Just want to make sure that we can hear Greg now.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, apologies for that. It's been a great tournament so far. If semi-final 1 is anything to go by, semi-final 2 should be another classic. Penalties, always a nervy and exciting adventure, and this morning's game was no different.
So our officials for this one in the centre, hailing from Finland, we have Mika Valston, with assistant officials of Gaetano Glorioso from Italy and Gerrit Weiland from Germany. Just getting their final instructions ahead of what promises to be one of the games of the tournament. Good support from the bleacher seating at the back. And just to talk about these two teams comprised of various different nations, playing styles, techniques, tactics and understandings of the game and sport of power chair football. The European All-Stars made up of 3 different nationalities, Julien Zhu and Elliot Dole, both of French origin. Iago Cordron, Belgian, and John Dixon, Bobby Allen from England. Of the ETFA youth team, Tristan Faravola comes from Copenhagen, Ruben Vols, Northern Ireland, Kyle Baker, Sam Gowan and Fionn Olunga, all of the Republic of Ireland, and Aaron Turalbo Sanchez of Spain. Ones to watch, as I mentioned a few moments ago, them two central captains, Julien Zhu of the European All-Stars and Ruben Walls of the ETFA youth team. For anyone wanting our placing game live on Court B, whether or not you can hear that loud cheers from that court, That's currently contested between FC United of Scotland and Phoenix Genevieve of Switzerland.
It is the Scots who have just taken the lead.
I believe their first goal of the competition, so congratulations to them. Anyone that gets a chance, I highly recommend tuning in or going back to the streams from the Goals Beyond Grass YouTube from the action yesterday and check out Ruben Walls' finish against Zalok Alicante to put them 1-0 up, all but confirm their spot in this semi-final. Absolutely sensational. We spoke about it at dinner last night. Ruben Walls is 10 years old. For anyone tuning in, I encourage you to follow the action of Ruben Walls, who's just out of shot. If I can clear the graphics, he's being designated as the Epford Youth Team goalkeeper, adorning that bright orange bib. Keep an eye on him throughout the game. 10 years old.
Makes me feel very old given I started playing 14 years ago.
Yeah, but I've said many times, if this is just a representation of the next generation, we're in safe hands and the sport will continue to develop and grow in the continent. And our referee, Mika Weiston, blows the whistle to get semi-final 2 underway, and we'll go through them exact team lineup following this Fionn Olonga attack. John Dixon in goal for the All-Stars. He has Julien Zoe, the central man, key to most things that the All-Stars do, with wingers of Iago Quadron and Bobby Allen. For the youth team, they have Spanish international Aaron Turalbo Sanchez in between the six, Ruben Walls in the centre, Fionn Olonga occupying predominantly the right-hand side of the court, Carl Baker the left. Julien Zoe battling away with Carl Baker, met by Ruben Walls. Apologies if there's any difficulties for some viewers differentiating between the orange goalkeeper jersey of the Epford Youth Team goalkeeper Ruben Walls and the outfield players of the All-Stars. Zoe over in the direction of Bobby Allen, allows Carl Baker to relieve the pressure on his defence and switch the momentum. It goes all the way out for a goal kick for the European All-Stars. Whoever progresses through this final will be faced with a tough, stern test against the Belgian Red Fox. Good connection, but allows Bobby Allen an opportunity here. Good positional play from Aaron Turalbo Sanchez to just apply some pressure and limit the number 19 All-Stars options.
I think we've seen already the first couple of minutes. The power that Ruben Walls generates is staggering at times.
On them 180 spin kicks, most definitely, and that was how he scored his goal against Zalok yesterday afternoon. So a trait to certainly observe across this one here today. 2-on-1 in favour of the All-Stars will be taken by John Dixon. He has Julien Zoe in support to his right. Iago Quadron just behind Carl Baker in the box. Bobby Allen a clearer option to his left. It looks like he's shaping up to choose his compatriot, which he does. Unfortunately for him, can't quite get the connection. Goes out for an Epford Youth Team goal kick.
Yeah, just not quite getting his chair in position properly there, Bobby Allen. But we know, especially you and me, obviously watched him in National League competitions back in England. He has got a lot of potential and is already a very quality player.
Absolutely. Options on the bench for both sides. I'm almost surprised with regards to the EPFA youth team choosing to not utilise Tristan Faravola from the start. Scored some nice goals yesterday. They've gone for Fionn Longer as Iago Cordron puts pressure on Turalbo Sanchez. A nice assured pick-off from Ruben Walls relieves the danger on his defence. Yeah, Tristan Faravola impressed me. No doubt you will see him feature across semi-final 2. And for the European All-Stars, the equally as impressive Frenchman Elliot Dole.
Talent abound everywhere, is all I'd say.
Most definitely. Iago Cordron guides it over to Bobby Allen on the left, just reversed into by Ruben Walls. He leaves the space for Iago Cordron, not before the referee awarded a 2-on-1 in the favour of the EPFA youth team. It must have been Julien Zoe just encroaching on the action, unfortunately for Ruben Walls.
I was half expecting that to go the other way there, but as I say always on commentary, the referee is always right.
Ruben Walls. Fionn Olonga to his right, tries to find the Irishman. Flicks in the direction, brilliantly so to Carl Baker. Iago Cordron constantly pressuring the EPFA youth team. Worth noting, if the European All-Stars progress to the GBG Geneva Cup final, Iago Cordron will be facing the club that he plays his football at in Belgium. I know it was a funny dynamic yesterday when the European All-Stars came up against the Red Fox in the pool game. He actually scored in that fixture.
You just read my mind, Ryan. That was exactly what I was thinking.
He must be very conflicted in terms of his approach. Whilst he will most definitely want to secure the GBG Geneva Cup, he will have to do so should they progress against his teammates and coach. So we'll see this one unfold. They still have to get past the EPFA youth team, who will no doubt have aspirations of their own. Mika Valston, our central referee, just adjusting the defensive duo of Sanchez and Ruben Walls before the ball gets put over to Bobby Allen via Julien Zoe, who forces a goal, almost an open goal now. Bobby Allen, unselfish, guides it back to Julien Zoe on the edge. Well cleared by Ruben Walls on the EPFA youth team goal line. Now Bobby Allen going to try and control it. He has to probably drop back into his own half to gain real possession of this ball. Carl Baker quick to pressure. Good work there from Carl Baker. The referee deemed the ball trapped between the two chairs of Bobby Allen and Baker, so a set ball will resume play.
I think having what we've seen from both sides so far this weekend, we can expect perhaps the All-Stars to have maybe a dominate possession with their free passing movement. But as you see here, the youth team are a threat on the counter-attack at all times.
Carl Baker needs to be aware of his positioning there. Was drawn into the action, but sensibly just drops off and takes position on the left-hand side. Now Julien Zoe breaks for the All-Stars, advancing down the left wing, and Bobby Allen does well to vacate the space to allow his captain the room to operate without infringements. Carl Baker just took a nick off that ball to guide it out of play. The right decision, halt the momentum of the Frenchman Julien Zoe as two standout performers come face to face. Iago Cordron to take the resulting corner kick. Julien Zoe and Bobby Allen in the box of the youth team, just communicating with one another. Worth noting for all of these teams, the varied languages and playing styles they've had to adapt in a relatively short amount of time. So any football that you see is a real testament to the hard work being put in behind the scenes here in Geneva. Bobby Allen picked out Julian Zoe in the centre, but out of play for another corner kick.
You mentioned the languages and not being together very long. I've been here since Monday, and so watched a bit of the youth camp Thursday and Friday. And just wait for the corner.
Chance for John Dixon to score his first goal of the competition. I know he's been waiting for that opportunity, and to do so in the semi-final. He will be absolutely delighted, as will his coaches, Brian Dix and Stuart Allen. Fantastic from the Englishman. Should get confirmation on your screens now. All Stars 1, Epfa Youth Team 0. What a time to score your first goal of the competition. Relatively defensive in his duties. He was advanced on that occasion, and now has put the European All-Stars in the driving seat to secure a spot in the final of the GBG Geneva Cup. Ruben Walls now going to use that trademark rotated spin kick all the way to that goal scorer, John Dixon. A chance for Fionn Olonga to capitalise and apply further pressure on the All-Stars number 40. Just tries to weave round but can't quite wrap around it in time to keep it in play. And it goes out for an All-Stars ball.
What a finish that was by John Dixon, by the way. Great technique, found the corner.
Fantastic player. Bobby Allen across the box to Argo Cordron, applying the pressure now, and a chance potentially for Iago Cordron. Bobby Allen lets it run across his chair and can't quite lock up the ball to keep it in play. The youth team come away with a goal kick.
As I was saying before that, lovely goal. I was watching the youth camp with both these teams Thursday, Friday. They've come on leaps and bounds, obviously the more time you spend together. But it's been great to see them bonding off the court as well. A lot of friendships made.
That's what it's all about for me, certainly. Whilst it's nice and individual accolades and team accolades are good, as Bobby Allen fires a diagonal cutting ball across the box of the Epfa youth team. A little too fast for Iago Cordron to capitalise. Yes, as I was saying, whilst the individual and team accolades titles are probably what take the headlines and what people remember most, it is exactly that, the team building, the friendships and wider relationships that they build that hold far more value. There's another effort from the European All-Stars, goes wide of the right-hand post. Unfortunately for Turalbo Sanchez, out of play for a goal kick. It looks like we're going to get our first change of the semi-final two. It will be taken and made by the European All-Stars. Considering Elliot Dole is the only option on their bench, he will be the player entering the fray. Interesting to see who comes off. I suspect it will be Bobby Allen. Tristan Faravola for the Epfa youth team readies himself to come on as well. So Iago Cordron, the option chosen by the All-Stars coaches. So we'll get confirmation of that one. Elliot Dole coming on for Iago Cordron, and in that passage of play, Tristan Faravola of the Epfa youth team also come on. Immediate action and involvement from Elliot Dole. Goes out for a corner kick.
They're under sustained pressure now, the youth team. All the momentum is with the All-Stars. As we saw Tristan Faravola come on for Carl Baker. Got to try and just get the ball up the court, relieve some of this pressure, just have a breather, take stock of where they are, because you really don't want to go 2-0 down and you're really up against it, especially against the side of this quality in the Epfa All-Stars.
Absolutely, 13 minutes gone, real chance here for the All-Stars. taken by Julien Zo into Elliot Dole, just locked up on the right hand side of his chair. Not quite the intended motion or play will resume with a kick in, which will give Tristan Faravola his first involvement in the semi-final. Very packed in, a high press from the All-Stars, who regain possession. Ruben Walls pressuring Julien Zo now. Well worked from the young Northern Ireland man. Elliot Dole coming over to take. Julien Zo in the centre circle. Bobby Allen well shielded on the top left-hand corner. He looked to find Bobby Allen and did so brilliantly. Just locked and off the front of Ruben Walls' chair, and interesting decision from the referee to award a 2-on-1. He must have, Ruben Walls must have been out of his box, and his defensive partner, Aaron Turalbo Sanchez, wasn't the necessary 3 metres away to play to continue. Indirect free kick will be taken by Julien Zo. About 5 minutes remaining as they seek a second goal. John Dixon in an attacking position has another attempt at goal, blocked this time well by Ruben Walls. The danger's still there. Turalbo Sanchez has to try and parry this out of danger. 2-on-1 once again in the favour of the All-Stars. Their attack just swarming the EPFA youth team. Very fragmented couple of minutes. I just want to find the coaches of the EPFA youth team is just fragmenting this game as much as possible and keeping the scoreline at 1-0 for as long as possible, and hope to counter later on. Julien Zo with a driven shot, picked up by Bobby Allen. Goal kick, fantastic opportunity, couldn't quite be converted by the All-Stars number 19.
It was a cheeky effort by Bobby Allen, expecting Sanchez to feel he was going to go far post. Tried to just dummy it down the inside and put it in his near post. Like you say, I think the youth team need to just hold on to this position they're in now, get to half time and get the manager's thoughts. Obviously, as you mentioned, very experienced coaching setup here.
Yeah, absolutely. When referencing the European All-Stars game against the Red Foxes yesterday afternoon, the way in which they were able to take the lead, the Red Foxes, is to capitalise on the vulnerabilities that this system that the All-Stars are adopting in a very expansive, brave 4-out system, which leaves them open for the counter-attack when all of their players are occupying positions in the attacking half. So it's almost, they almost want to encourage that pressure to then try and break the lines whilst all of the All-Stars players are away from their own goal. Julien Zo, met by Fionn Olonga. Ruben Walls. The 2 number 7s locked in a battle. Julien Zo flicks it back to John Dixon. Well cleared initially by Ruben Walls. He has another attempt over to Bobby Allen. They haven't quite got their passing going as they did yesterday, the All-Stars. Full credit to the youth team for that preventative measure. Faravola flicked back, unfortunately for him, goes into the path of Bobby Allen, who has the task of trying to evade Ruben Walls, who guides it out of play for a kick-in.
It's been a very, although the EPFA All-Stars are in the lead, I don't know if Stuart Allen and Brian Dixby perhaps pleased with the performance, given the standards we've seen them set yesterday.
That exactly, and as I said, that what I was so encouraging, and to see across their game yesterday was that precision in passing and more the intent. There was very few wasted opportunities. Everything was done with a purpose, with accuracy, with precision. They haven't necessarily, by the own standards they've set, I must say, I don't want to do them a disservice. The Epford youth team are a sturdy opposition, but by the own standards that the European All-Stars have set, they haven't quite matched yesterday's level. They still have time. We've got the final minute of the first half approaching. No doubt they'll be happy taking a goal advantage into the half-time break, but will most definitely want to build on that in the second to prevent a rally from the Epford youth team. Julian Zoe to take a late corner kick in the final minute. Bobby Allen at the back post. John Dixon closely marked by Fionn Olonga. An attempt from Bobby Allen just wide of the right-hand post. Good opportunity. It remains European All-Stars 1, Epford youth team 0.
You spoke there about how the All-Stars conceded to Red Fox yesterday. Even the teams that are very experienced playing 4 out know the risks and sometimes concede those goals where the ball just goes between the 2 middlemen. This is a team that are made up of young players. We mustn't forget that although they're playing the youth team, these are all young players, some of who have not played 4 out, are not used to it, and are having to learn it very quickly.
Yes, contact there off the ball from Fionn Olonga. I think the referee have said that it was Elliot Dole reversing onto Fionn Olonga. I think they were both in the opposite motion. Fionn Olonga going forward, Elliot Dole going forward, goes in the favour of the Epford youth team. We've had the regulation 20, so now into anything that Mika Valston of Finland has accrued across this first half. I doubt very much at all. Ruben Walls just feints, takes it at the second time of asking, intercepted almost immediately from Julian Zone, and assured clearance from Ruben Walls will be the last involvement and action of the first half. European All-Stars 1, Epford youth team 0. Join myself and Greg Baxter for the second half shortly. Hello everyone and welcome back to the second half in semi-final 2 between the European All-Stars and the EPFA youth team, currently separated by a single John Dixon goal for the All-Stars. Just to go through the team lineups very quickly. The All-Stars have number 10 Iago Cordron, Bobby Allen, Elliot Dole, John Dixon, Julian Zoe. Youth team have Gowan, Olonga, Sanchez, Faravola, Walls and Baker. Mika Valston blows the whistle to get proceedings underway. The final half of action before the highly anticipated GBG Geneva Cup final later on this afternoon.
I do believe we have a third, fourth place playoff before the final, right?
Yep, we do. Faravola across the court. Bobby Allen, have to commend his distribution across this tournament. A prolific goal scorer in the English National League. Has altered his game slightly across this weekend to be more creative and more of a provider, and he provided some fantastic assists across their pooled games yesterday. John Dixon intercepted by Olonga to Julian Zoe. Centrally, Ruben Walls clears and Tristan Faravola has a chance to equalise. A really good opportunity there. First of all, the ball from Ruben Walls. Full credit to that man. And Tristan Faravola, most definitely the right intent, just couldn't get the connection he would have wanted to send that goal bound. Had he done that, it would have surely been an equaliser, and that just what Greg and I were talking about in the first, about capitalising on the system that the All-Stars are adopting, a very high line, leaving an open goal for large parts of the game.
Exactly what we were talking about. There's the gap, those are the chances you've really got to take when you're under the pressure that they have been in this game.
Cushioned ball, beautiful from Julian Zoe to see off the advancement of Fionn Olonga, guided out of play by Ruben Walls, the 10-year-old from Northern Ireland. Julian Zoe readies himself to take this kick in on the top right-hand corner of the court, just in front of his coaches, Stuart Allen and Brian Dix. Keep an eye on Elliot Dole at the backs. Julian Zoe's distribution has been fantastic, and no doubt he's one of the intended targets. Caught in two minds there. Curse of the commentator almost.
I was just about to say that.
I got there in front of you, so you can't discredit me. I can do it to myself. Aaron Tarabo Sanchez to take the result in.
Sanchez is really one that's, I think, gone under the radar. I'm really impressed.
I don't think he's gone under the radar at all. I think he's been absolutely incredible for the All-Stars. Sorry, the youth team. A solid foundation for them to build on. And had he not been as good as he is, it would be more than 1-0. Day effort from John Dixon out of play. I think we deserve credit because we're trying to multitask and follow, where possible, the FIFA Women's World Cup final between England and Spain. We've got a number of Spanish individuals here at the Centre Sportif de l'Equitar, as well as that of English, of course.
The Spanish are the happier at the minute, isn't it?
Football all around. We won't comment on the actual score. Ruben Walls. Contact there from Fionn Olonga on the side of Bobby Allen. Referee deemed it too forceful. Contact foul will resume play, will be taken by Julian Zoe. And I just have a feeling that they may score here. John Dixon to take. Julian Zoe just on the edge of the box. Elliot Dole on the other side. Picked off. A chance for Bobby Allen. Almost a finish past Ruben Walls. The pressure's still there. Bobby Allen trapped. Has to relieve that. Rightfully so from the referee. Bobby Allen couldn't vacate the space quick enough. We're going to get a change. Probably going to be Elliot Dole coming off for Iago Cordron, possibly Bobby Allen. Slight confusion amongst who was coming on, who was coming off. The officials now allow that substitution to take place. Iago Cordron, the Belgian superstar, coming on for Bobby Allen. You should have confirmation on your screens now. Ruben Walls to take the kick to Tristan Baravola. Now a chance for them to break. He wraps his chair around the ball. He has Fionn Olonga in support. John Dixon as quick as an arrow to limit the space and opportunities. Faravola trying to reverse into the box. Julian Zoe with the responsibility of dribbling out of danger. That's really unfortunate that. I think Fionn Olonga did vacate that space quick enough. What you'll see across the weekend as well is that variation of officiating. Some are a lot more strict with 2-on-1s and contact. So something that the players have to take into consideration when playing. Julian Zoe blocked by Ruben Walls. I mentioned it across their games yesterday, but if and where you can, try and look at the mannerisms and the communication of Ruben Walls. You won't necessarily hear it above the loud support in our bleacher seating at the back, but he's constantly communicating and guiding his team forward. Fionn Olonga with what looks like a final warning from Mika Valston, our central referee.
Manager Brad Bates speaking to linesman Gerrit Violin there. I don't think he was quite impressed with that decision.
No, as I said, it was different interpretations, different referees tolerate varied amounts of contact or positional play, so just something that Fionn Olonga has to take into consideration in the next 14 or so minutes. Still remains European All-Stars 1, for youth team 0. Tristan Faravola with contact on the side of Elliot Dole's chair. Has to be very much wary of that contact. Brilliant officiating from Mika Valston. Just to give a warning to Tristan Faravola, I think it was that. Similar to Fionn Olonga. Final warning, any further infringements may result in a card. Julian Zoe now has Elliot Dole in close support, his compatriot from France. Diagonal ball all the way to Iago Cordron. He didn't have an option on the right hand wing to switch to, so had to control it. Pick off from Fionn Olonga. Over to Tristan Faravola, not before Iago Cordron in to intercept. Julian Zoe, brilliant ball out to Elliot Dole. Absolutely sensational distribution from the All-Stars captain. Sometimes you can be on a different wavelength to teammates, and whilst that is absolutely the right intent, it may take a little bit extra adjustment for his teammates to get in the right position and capitalise on that proficient distribution. Tristan Faravola now, pick off, back to Ruben Walls, cleared by Iago Cordron. Julian Zoe and Iago Cordron 2-on-1.
I love this. He's 10. He's the captain, he's 10, and he's whipping the crowd up.
I know, it's absolutely brilliant. I don't understand it. When I was told about his age yesterday, I just didn't believe it. I had to track him down and ask him himself, because there's no right to be that good at that age.
It's the confidence.
It is, and that is what's more impressive than anything. Iago Cordron guides that into the path of Turabo Sanchez. Julian Zoe via Elliot Dole. Another pass out to the wing. Too much pace for Julian Zoe. Great support from the crowd as the foghorns blare. Aaron Turabo Sanchez will be trusted to take this goal kick. We're going to get another substitution for the All-Stars. Bobby Allen ready to re-enter the fray. Opportunity for the Epford youth team. Tristan Faravola trying to sneak it round the back of John Dixon. Well defended by the number 40 of the European All-Stars. Substitution, Bobby Allen coming back on, Elliot Dole coming off. Confirmation on your screens now. Ruben Walls to take this corner kick. Walls, a very credible opportunity for the youth team. Traube Sanchez very isolated in defence. So should the All-Stars manage to capitalise or counter, it could prove a real risk. But probably the best opportunity to score for the youth team. Faravola in the box. What I like seeing a little bit earlier in trying to connect with that ball.
Penalty.
And a penalty. Julian Zoe, too forceful, as deemed by the referee, Mika Valston. And look at the emotions, the emotiveness of Ruben Walls, who's trusted to take this penalty kick. And with 10 minutes remaining, Ruben Walls can drag his team right back into this semi-final. John Dixon, the player opposite him in the All-Stars goal, moving back and forwards. Ruben Walls likewise is going to strike it with the right-hand side of his chair, probably behind John Dixon. He does so. John Dixon saves. There's a chance of a follow-up shot. John Dixon guides it out of play. Fantastic keeping for the earlier goal scorer, and he preserves the All-Stars 1-0 lead. Bitterly unlucky for Ruben Walls, but I doubt that will deter him, considering how mature he is. He'll keep a level head and continue to pepper away at the All-Stars defence, desperately seeking that equaliser.
One thing I will say, the Epsom All-Stars did do a significant amount of preparation during the youth camp on penalties.
Well, it's paid off there. Ruben Walls into Tristan Faravola. Ruben Walls has to vacate that right-hand side. Julian Zoe now with a chance to break. Look at this, 3 players onto the 2. Tristan Faravola just coming back into the fray, but Iago Cordron and Bobby Allen both in support. But see how rotational they are. Bobby Allen now dropping way back to allow John Dixon to take charge of the game in the centre. Does brilliantly well to evade Tristan Faravola. Met by Ruben Walls. 7.5 minutes remaining. John Dixon just off the back of Ruben Walls' chair. Kicking. Great semi-final. Equal to that of semi-final 1. Just a reminder, whoever progresses through this game will meet the Red Foxes later on this afternoon. The loser of semi-final 2 will face Modena in a 3rd place playoff. Iago Cordron to Bobby Allen, who has a chance to double the advantage of the All-Stars. Fantastic defending from Aaron Traube Sanchez, a standout of this tournament, showing exactly why he's so highly regarded in Spain and currently a member of their national side.
The atmosphere's been great this second half.
It's been brilliant. It was amazing in the early semi-final, no doubt, as a result of the Italians. Great ball from Iago Cordron. I think Bobby Allen was a little bit too unselfish there. Should have attempted an effort on goal. And he's eventually guided the ball over the line. Selfish on that occasion, as Aaron Traube Sanchez, in the action of defending, runs over the barrier on the side. But with 6 minutes remaining, the European All-Stars take a 2-0 lead. Bobby Allen, the goal scorer.
I'm sorry, I know Bobby scored. That pass from Iago Cordron was absolutely
and this is where,
sensational.
in the obviously the action of him scoring that goal, I was trying to explain that had Bobby Allen just put his chair through that ball and attempted an effort on goal. I think he looked for the return pass. It would have been one of the goals of the tournament and deserved an assist for Iago Cordron. Nevertheless, he managed to capitalise in the end.
See, I think Bobby was trying to shoot and just mistimed it slightly.
Either
we
way.
will never know. It ended
Either
up in the
way,
back of the
I'll
net.
ask him after the game. Ruben Walls, metaphorical mountain to climb now for the Etfa youth team, who haven't really troubled John Dixon in the All-Stars goal. Great action there from Bobby Allen. The technique, more important than the outcome, and just having the confidence to stay in reverse and have that rotational spin kick. Another interesting dynamic to assess and to watch across the weekend. The Etfa youth team coach, Brad Bates, is the domestic club coach for Bobby Allen in England, and that was Brad Bates-esque in its action. A touch there from Bobby Allen, whether that was intentional or not, allowed Julian Zoe to come over and take responsibility of the attack, and we get another follow-up. The little sly smile from Bobby Allen's father, Stuart, on the sidelines makes me think it wasn't intentional.
And on comes, I'm going to say, a fan favourite amongst the crowd here.
Sam Gowen, number 10, comes on in place of Fionn Olonga. Let's get confirmation of that on your screens now. One to watch at the back, adorning the number 10, the bright yellow bumper. Final 4 minutes.
As a goalkeeper myself, can I just say, how crucial does that penalty save by John Dixon seem now?
Massive, absolutely massive. So full credit to him. Bobby Allen back to Julian Zoe. Just caught in two minds. Ball not necessarily placed in a position that was able to redistribute over to Iago Cordron. He comes away with the kick in. Keep an eye on Iago Cordron at the back post. If Bobby Allen can get out the way in time, Julian Zoe certainly has the distribution to find the Belgian compatriot, which he does nearly. If it didn't, I said about if Bobby could get out the way in time, he couldn't on that occasion. Ruben Walls, and now Julian Zoe has to sweep up to prevent Sam Gowen and Tristan Faravola from countering. 2-on-1 in favour of the All-Stars in the final few minutes of this semi-final. As it stands, and barring a late miracle for the Etfa youth team, it will be a GBG Geneva Cup final between the European All-Stars and the Red Fox.
Defending champions, European All-Stars, who I
One-
believe have won every single edition.
It was 1-1 yesterday when they played in their pool fixture. Cleared by Ruben Walls. Substitution for the European All-Stars, who are just working the clock down now. Iago Cordron leaving the action. Elliot Dole is going to finish the game for the side, who will have strong aspirations of securing the crown. Bobby Allen to Zoe. Back to John Dixon. Flicked in the vicinity of Bobby Allen. Does well to keep it in. Net by Tristan Faravola. I think Bobby Allen left the field of play to avoid a 2-on-1. Certainly that's the signalling from our official Mika Valsen, and rightfully so in the laws of the game. If a player leaves the court to avoid a 2-on-1 infringement, it is rightfully a yellow card. So certainly the first that I've seen. Bobby Allen gets booked. Confirmation on your screens now.
Is the fine system in place this weekend?
Absolutely. I'm not sure what the crowd were appealing about. I think they all accepted it, but very encouraging officiating to acknowledge that. It's not necessarily within your focused vision. It's almost a peripheral observation when you're assessing players' positioning on the pitch. Bobby Allen looking to distribute over to Elliot Dole. Opts to choose Julian Zoe. Over to Elliot Dole. out of play. Final 30 seconds. Can I push you for a player of the match, Baxter?
I was about to ask you this, and you put me on the spot.
There's
Okay,
only,
it's
there's
got to
only
go.
one for me.
There's only one for you. I've got to give a special shout out to Ruben Walls, because again, I've got to remind everyone he's only 10.
Yeah.
It's just staggering. Right, if you've only got one, you can say it, because I'm torn, because there's been so many great performances.
The decider of this game, scored the opening goal, saved the penalty, Mr. John Dixon for me. You mentioned it earlier, the importance of that penalty save, which would have made it 1-1. It's worth noting, looking like a game-winning contribution as the referee blows the whistle for full time. European All-Stars 2, Epfort Youth Team 0. A huge thank you to any and everyone joining us across our streams. We'll work out the actual scheduling of the next fixtures, but our final of the GBG Geneva Cup 2023 will be contested between Red Fox and the European All-Stars. Join myself and Greg for that one shortly. Thank you all.